Freeze! Give me all your dust particles. What's up guys? Today I'm gonna review the Dyson v15 Detect Absolute for you. I'm gonna show you how the Dyson can handle my floors that I haven't vacuumed for a week, that have a lot of cat hair, cat litter, cat food, and just general dust particles on them. I purposely didn't empty the vacuum cleaner, and you can see that about 90% of it is just good old cat hair. So I'm gonna get to vacuuming, I'm gonna take you through the pros and cons, and then at the end I'm gonna show you how much it has actually picked up. If I do happen to convince you to get one of these bad boys for yourself and you want to support my channel, I'm gonna drop an affiliate link down below. So let's get right into it. So in order to be able to see the difference between the before and after, I actually just went ahead and emptied the vacuum cleaner real quick, so this is what it looks like now. So I'm gonna jump straight into the first con of this vacuum cleaner, and that's obviously the price. I bought it in March last year, and at that time it was about $711, and that's also a reason why I didn't get it for so long, because I just couldn't really justify the price. So this is why I'm making this review, so that other people can see whether it is worth it or not. What I quite like about the vacuum cleaner is that it has this little LCD display with the time countdown. It also shows you how many particles you've picked up. To be honest with you, I don't know how accurate the particle count is, because if you just run it without moving the vacuum cleaner, it goes up anyway. So I don't think those numbers are really representative of how many particles the vacuum cleaner actually picks up, but it makes you feel good, so I understand that they put it in there. The runtime of this vacuum cleaner is about 40 minutes when it's fully charged. It has remained the same ever since I got it last March, and it is quite useful to see how much time you have left before you have to recharge again. I will, however, say I do live in a relatively small apartment. Our apartment is like 30 square meters, and vacuuming the whole place takes only about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how thorough I'm feeling that day. So if you have like a giant 3-story house, a 40-minute battery is probably not going to be enough for that. There are models that are more expensive, which have higher battery time. So if you're thinking about buying one, just use your vacuum cleaner that you have right now and maybe time yourself to see how long it takes you to vacuum your entire house. Because to be honest with you, if I had to recharge the battery mid-vacuum cleaning, I would probably not like that very much. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of on this Dyson is that you need to be holding down the button in order to vacuum. So it's not like a button that you press once and it turns the machine on. You actually have to hold it continuously in order for the vacuum to be running. This is not an issue if you're doing like tiny cleanups, but even vacuuming my tiny apartment, after about 10 minutes my finger gets really crimpy, which is not the end of the world, but my left hand is not as coordinated as my right hand. So I would prefer that it had a normal button, but you know, I also understand why they probably put it there. It's so that you don't waste your battery when you're just moving stuff around and not actually vacuuming. My most favorite thing about the Dyson, which you're gonna see throughout this video, is the fluffy optic technology. It's basically a laser that illuminates your floors so that you can see every little speck of dust, and honestly, I love this thing so much. It kind of makes vacuuming gamified, like you get a reward every time you're vacuuming because you can literally see the dirt being sucked up. The Dyson model that I got also came with a motorized head attachment, but to be honest, I literally never use it. Primarily because that one is meant for carpets and hardwood floors, but I don't have any carpet, so I don't have a reason to use it. But most importantly, because the motorized head doesn't have the laser on it. And it's honestly not as fun vacuuming without the fluffy optic illumination. So you can see the illumination here in action. You can see that it really highlights the hairs. And the best thing is vacuuming in the dark. If you go into a dark room or you vacuum at night, you can really see all the hair and all the dust light up, and it is just so satisfying. Sometimes I just like to vacuum in the evenings just for the hell of it because it's dark and it's more fun that way. Like I already mentioned, I do have cats, and sometimes a cat toy does get stuck in the vacuum cleaner. Luckily, Dyson has thought of this, and whenever something gets stuck in the air duct, the vacuum cleaner starts pulsing. and it actually shows you on the display that you need to clean the airways because something is stuck. So I quite like that feature. It also similarly tells you when the compartment is too full and you need to empty it in order to continue vacuuming. I previously had a Shark vacuum that was also a cordless vacuum cleaner. What I didn't like about that one was the head because it was just too big all around. What I like about the Dyson vacuum heads, specifically the fluffy Optic one, is that it's very small, so you can actually get easily underneath things. And another reason why I like that the head is so small is because it's much easier to manipulate. If it was bigger, like my Shark vacuum cleaner head was, for example, then it made it a lot more difficult to get it to the place that I wanted to go. But I don't really have that issue with the Dyson. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of, this is not particular to Dyson, but it's just cordless vacuums in general, I think, and it's that you actually have to change the attachments if you want to get in a tighter space. Now, on a normal vacuum, you would just be able to take the floor attachment off and just vacuum using the little round thingy. I'm not up to date on my vacuum cleaner terminology, okay? So that can get a little bit annoying, especially if you live in a big house and you have the attachment on the other side of your house. One of the pricier Dysons actually has the crevice attachment built in, but that was obviously more expensive. So if you do have a big budget, I would maybe recommend going for that one because that takes out the annoyance out of it. Speaking of crevices, I wouldn't say that the Dyson is really great for getting into very small spaces. For example, when you're vacuuming a car, the motor of the vacuum cleaner is just too bulky and too big and you can't actually get in the place that you want to. But if you don't have a car or you have a separate vacuum cleaner for your car, then you don't have to worry about this. And since we're already talking about attachments, let me show you all of the ones that my Dyson came with. So first one is the fluffy Optic. That's my ride or die. This is the one I use literally 99% of the time. As you can see, it doesn't have any hair tangled on it. You can see that some hair got tangled in the little wheels over here, but you can easily get rid of that by just unscrewing the little screws and cleaning it out properly. The next one is the motorized head attachment that I mentioned. Like I said, I don't really use this one. Then there's the combination tool with the movable head, so you can either choose between having the nozzle or the brush if you don't want to scratch some surfaces. I don't really use this one that much either. I usually just go for the crevice tool, which is the last tool that came with my Dyson model. I don't have much to say about this. It's just your standard crevice tool, you know, narrow, slanted. Love a good crevice tool. And lastly, there's the actual motor. What I like about it is that you can actually detach the battery in case the old battery dies, or if you just want to detach the battery for charging. So I thought that was pretty neat when I accidentally discovered it. You can also unscrew the filter at the top really easily. The motor itself is also really quite light, so if you like vacuuming spider webs in the corner of your house, for example, then it's really easy to pick up. Nothing too bulky, nothing too heavy. Another thing that slightly annoys me about the Dyson vacuum is that because most of the weight is on the motor, it can't actually stand upright on its own. Again, this is like not the end of the world, but if you need both of your hands to move something, or you just need to set it aside for a while, you need to put it upright against the wall. But it has happened to me numerous times that it just slid down and fell to the floor. Obviously, you can prevent that by just laying it on the floor every single time, but I'm a young person. I still have a healthy back, but imagine I wasn't a young person and I didn't have a healthy back. I would find that pretty annoying if I had to put it down on the floor and pick it up every single time if I had to move something around. So I have finished vacuuming and this is the result. As you can see, it collected quite a lot of cat hair, which is what I thought that it would mostly collect because I've got two of those things. There's hair on the floor all of the time, okay? As you can see, the dust compartment is see-through, so you can easily see how full it is. Emptying the compartment is also super easy, and you can also take the cover off in order to rinse it and clean it properly. The last thing that I really like about the Dyson is that it comes with a charging station. So I have my charging station drilled to the wall, and every time I want to use it, I just unhook it from the charger. Every time I'm done vacuuming, I just put it back and it's automatically charging. My previous vacuum cleaner, the Shark one that I mentioned, didn't have a docking station, so you always had to detach the battery to charge it separately, and I would never do that, so my vacuum cleaner would never be charged, and I found that really annoying. And that's all I have to say about it. Right now on the screen you should be able to see all of my pros and cons for the vacuum cleaner. I hope this helps you make your decision a little bit easier. If I had to sum all of it up, I would definitely say that yes, it is worth the price. So if you do have the money for it, I would go ahead and buy it. Remember that I put my affiliate link in the description box below, so if you want to support my channel, you can shop through that. If you have any questions whatsoever, put them down in the comments. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!